Does anyone remember the ending of Hostel Part 2 where the guy gets castrated on screen? Well, boy oh boy, do I have a movie here for you. Find Your Friends is streaming on Shudder and was written and directed by Izabel Pakzad. I hope I pronounced that name correctly. And it's about a group of young college-age ladies who go to a small desert town, stay at an Airbnb, and want to party it up like it's 1999. The story is told from the perspective of a young lady named Amber, who is going through a ton of mental trauma as the movie begins. Bella Thorne is one of the friends. I have always been a subtle fan of hers. I think she has a quirky charm that I've always enjoyed. She's no Samara Weaving, but she has a fun energy I've always been drawn to. This picture seems to be going for a grindhouse theme with its shooting style, as well as story construction. This is also a very feminist story that is not subtle with its messaging. All of the villains are men and are either portrayed as grossly sexist or psychopaths who are trying to murder the five ladies. I don't mind feminist points of view. It gives me different perspectives that I usually enjoy seeing. The film is shot acceptably, and I could tell it was a smaller budget film. And we've gotten so many great low budget first films from directors this year. I am so excited with where we are at with horror films right now. I'm trying to say all these nice things up top because I think this movie is awful. I hated this film. It all boils down to the structure of this picture as well as the dialogue. The only thing anyone in this film talks about is sex, whether it's innuendos or outright just talking about someone else's private parts or each other's private parts. When you're on a bender looking to party and you're in college, I know that getting laid is likely a high priority for some people, but with the exception of a sequence when they first get to the Airbnb and they are talking about what they're going to do when they all graduate, everything else in this film is sexualized. If someone wants to tell me that that's to expose the male gaze, okay, that's fine. I'll accept that. Instead, how about I talk about how the first 45 minutes, nothing happens. The five friends go to a boat party at the start of the film, and our main character's ex-boyfriend is also on this boat making out with a girl. In a panic, she surprised makes out with a guy. After everyone leaves, they begin taking it a little further, but she has a change of mind. You can probably guess where I'm going with this. And that sucks. No one should have to go through that. The problem is she internalizes everything that she has and is going through, doesn't tell her friends, and this event plays no role in any kind of self-actualization, plot importance, or character development. From my perspective, that was only put in there in an exploitative way. The ladies are kicked off the boat about 15 to 20 minutes in, so we never see this guy again. He gets no comeuppance or anything, so that's why I say it feels exploitative. As I mentioned, this film feels like those old grindhouse movies from the 70s, or is paying homage to Grindhouse itself from 2007, where the characters meander for long periods without anything seemingly happening. But the thing with those films, at least the good ones, is that events were escalating as the conversations were going on. It was done subtly and sometimes even poorly, but it was done. In Find Your Friends, all the pointless conversations we follow have no substance to them that adds to the plot, and there are no characters introduced for over 40 minutes that play into the story at all. The character we follow continues to spiral in the film. She seems to be in a bad state from things that happened before the movie began, though, but we don't know what any of that is. If you take out that incident I described earlier, she just comes off as a psycho girl who likes busting glass bowls over people's heads or accusing someone of something they didn't do, which happens later in the film at an after party. Her being mentally fucked up doesn't add anything to the uneasy feeling this film is trying to convey, especially since nothing of consequence happens until an hour in. The villains of the film are these three guys who just don't like them because they aren't from their quaint little town. That could be creepy and add tension if we actually saw them more than we do in this film. In the end, I just viewed it as a bunch of people I don't know attacking a bunch of people I personally could not stand. No one in this film is likable. All of them suck. I was rooting for no one to survive. If you look at a film like Planet Terror, the ladies in that film were likable, especially Rosario Dawson. They gave us attributes about themselves that made me root for them to survive the ordeal they are going through. If that's too mainstream, then I will use Blood-Sucking Freaks as an example instead. That film has people being experimented on and murdered on a stage that is disguising itself as entertainment. The women in that film, while not sharply and well written, are uncaged at the end and literally eat the villain alive. I liked Natasha in that movie and liked the revenge she takes. The point is, there is no one in Find Your Friends I cared about enough for me to want them to survive or even to get murdered. I just viewed it as a group of awful people being stalked and killed by another group of awful people. It's a heel program. The one thing in this film that will never leave my mind as long as I live is the tease I gave at the start of the video. It gets into ending spoilers, so if you really don't want to hear it, you know what to do. But I don't recommend this movie anyway, so I'm just going to say it. So, three of the girls take one of the stalkers back to their Airbnb after a bad car accident seemingly kills two of the bad guys. After a gunfight and some boring action, the guy they took is tied to a table. Our main character interrogates him with scissors. She cuts his face, his hand, and then she pulls down his pants, pulls out his wanker, and threatens to cut it off if he doesn't tell her where their friends are. The guy finally confesses that their two friends are dead and why they killed them. After his confession, she cuts it off, and we see it. Holy shit. That was one of the most gnarly things I've seen in a movie in a hot minute. It doesn't cut away from it at all, so I'll give the movie points for showing that. But it does go with the exploitation I mentioned earlier in the video. It seems it was just put there for exploitation and empowerment. But I'll be damned if I didn't clap at the audacity of the film for showing it. I won't soon forget it. Sadly though, while I enjoyed that 30 seconds of this movie, the rest is terrible, with badly written, one-dimensional characters, no stakes or tension for long, very long sections, and no one I gave a crap about. I admire the ambition and the voice the director was trying to get out, but it is too disorganized. A big swing, but an even bigger miss, unfortunately. I give Find Your Friends 1 star and a golden turkey. At least this film tried to be something and failed, whereas the other films I rated that low this year attempted nothing and got nowhere. I'm actually looking forward to her next project, and hope she can have better pacing and dialogue the next time out. A bad film, but an admirable attempt. And that is my review. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this, please like and subscribe. Here's links to my other videos. Follow me on social media if you like. And until next time, I am Ghost.